Rusame reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by RainbowStar_772. That's me! Now, on to Chapter 11, Feigning Sleep and Carrying Notes. Russia smiled to himself as his last lesson ended, jogging out of the room quickly. He went to see if America was back in his office yet, and frowned a bit to himself when he found that he, in fact, was not. So he decided to go and wait by the chamomile flowers. He'd already hidden the letter, but he hoped that he might be able to catch him before his shift was over. So there he found himself by the chamomile flowers, leaning on the castle wall, the sun keeping him warm, but not hot. He felt himself relax, his eyes closing as he slowly started to drift to sleep. He moved slightly to wake up when he heard someone who sounded a lot like America say, "Hey." Their voice had sounded soft and gentle, as if they didn't want to startle him. The tone was kind, and it was something he'd like to hear more often. He found himself a bit too relaxed and didn't want to get up. He opened one of his eyes slightly when he felt himself being picked up. He noticed that he was being held against someone's chest. His back was supported by one arm, while another arm was under his knees. He gazed a little higher to see who was holding him. It was America. The small healer didn't notice that he was awake and started to walk. He closed his eyes again, hoping that America wouldn't notice that he wasn't asleep. He found himself flustered by the fact that America was just holding him like this. He actually liked that America was strong enough to do that. He found himself slowly becoming a bit more than just fond of the small healer. He wasn't sure of what he felt for the healer now, but it definitely wasn't just fondness. Fondness didn't make one want to do what he wanted to do. He was shaken from his thoughts when he felt America come to a stop. "Ah, hello. I was hoping to get him to his room. He fell asleep out there." America spoke softly, staying fairly quiet. Russia felt himself relax a little at that. The healer definitely thought he was asleep. There was a pause before he heard someone else. It was his dad. He quickly realized that they started speaking. His dad definitely would know he was faking sleep. Hopefully he wouldn't say anything, though. "I take it your time at the market went well?" his dad asked, thankfully not mentioning that Russia was most definitely awake. "Yep, got everything I needed. I'll probably be staying a bit late today so I can get everything out of my bag. I'll be putting it away tomorrow," America responded. After that, he didn't hear anything else for a while. He only heard the footsteps of his dad and America. He assumed that his dad was showing America the way to his room. He felt himself be put on a bed, then heard America pause for a moment and rustle through his bag. Then he heard the sounds of writing. He then heard a little more rustling, then someone leaving the room. After a couple moments had passed, he heard his dad come in. He heard the quiet chuckle and opened his eyes, looking over to see his dad. "So, want to tell me what that was about?" "He picked me up. It would have been embarrassing if I'd done anything," Russia said, trying to keep himself from blushing. His dad chuckled and knowingly smiled. "Just be careful, will you?" his dad said before leaving him alone. Once he heard his dad leave the room, he grabbed a pillow and buried his face into it, screaming into it. That was extremely embarrassing. He hoped America wasn't nearby enough to hear that. That'd just make the situation even more embarrassing. He removed his face from the pillow and looked over, seeing a note. Hey, Russia. Sorry, I couldn't just let you sleep in that position. Please be careful. If you do that too much, you might hurt your back. I tried to wake you up, but you didn't, so I carried you to your room. Your dad helped me find it. I hope you've been getting proper sleep. If not, I have a few herbs that might be able to help. I could make them into a tea if you like. Just drop by at some point tomorrow. I want to make sure you are okay. Sincerely, America. He smiled a bit. America was too kind. He was also really thoughtful. America had been really kind to him and had been okay with him being in his office. He would definitely be showing up there more often. Even though he'd already been planning on doing that, he now had a written invitation to show up more. So he was going to take advantage of that. He checked the time before he went over to his window, watching to see when America would show up. He noticed that America looked a little more excited when he got over to the chamomile flowers. He watched as America cared for the flowers before getting the letter from its place in the flowers. He saw how America lit up and excitedly opened it. He watched the long pause as America read it. Then he saw as America folded it up and put it in the envelope. Then he put the envelope in his bag and continued on, leaving Russia's line of sight. His thoughts were filled by America's earlier actions and the gentleness as he laid back. He shook his head furiously, trying to convince himself that America was someone he was still just only fond of, not someone he'd like to cuddle, kiss, pick up, or do one of many other things. Russia found himself smiling at those thoughts and went back to bed, laying down. Soon enough, he fell asleep, the flustering thoughts refusing to leave him. The smile didn't leave his face as he fell asleep either. And I hope you enjoyed the chapter. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.